Hello everyone. So in the last lecture, we have covered the introduction of Solidity programming language. In today's class, we are going to talk about the data types. So as I said, Solidity is your statically typed language. That means we have to declare a variable with a particular type for holding the different values like integer type of values, string type of values, or true or false type of values. So first, your data type is called as Boolean. Here we use a keyword called bool, and as you can see here, sorry. So for declaring a Boolean type of data, we have a bool keyword here to declare it, and the possible values we can store in this type of values are true and false. And then second type of data we can store is integer type, and we have two categories in integer type. So for declaring an integer type of variable, we have a keyword called int for the signed integers, and for unsigned integer, we have a keyword uint. That means unsigned integers, all are positive values. Signed integers, you can store the negative values as well. And there are certain variation. There are various variation for storing the integer type of value. Depending upon the size you want to store. For example, if you want to store a small integer value up to 8 bits of integer value, so then you can use a keyword called as uint8. And if you want to store the larger value, then you can use uint256, and then we have the different categories uint16, 32, and so on, depending upon the size of the uh, value you want to store in that variable. And similarly, we have a same category for the signed integer values as well, int 8 to 8 int 256, and the size here ranges from 8 bits to 256 bits. Now uint and int, for example, if you are declaring a variable like uint a, so it means you are by default you are storing it in a 256 bits. That means uint and int, if you are using, it's same as uint 256 or int 256. That is, either you can use uint or uint 256. Right? So this is how you can store the signed and unsigned integers separately by using the two keywords int and uint in Solidity language. Now, next data type is your string. And first, like what is string? String is a group of characters, and you can store a word under this data type. And how you can store it? You have two options. Either you can use the double quotes or single quotes, like it is shown here. That it is under the full word under the double quotes and bar under the single quotes. And the keyword for storing this string variable are string with a small s, and so this is how we can store these string literals. Now, next data type is a very important data type. It's new in Solidity language. So this data type is called as address. So because when you talk about the smart contract, so we store the address of a particular person because it's a contract between the different parties. So to store the address of a one party, the other party in the so we have a separate data type for it. So this is called as address, and it holds how many the size of this data type is of 20 byte. It's stored a 20 byte of value, which is same as the size of the Ethereum address. And so there are two variants here. So first variant is just storing the address of a person, of a party, a contracting party. And the next, and this is a keyword called as address, and you just specify the name of the variable along with this data type. Now next one is address payable. Now what does it mean? Because it also when you are storing, when the contracting parties are involved in this smart contract and you are doing the coding, so there may be the chances that you want to transfer some of the ether from one account to another account. So whenever you want to transfer the ether or some monetary is involved here. So instead of just making that variable, storing that variable's address, we have to make that variable as payable. It is same as address, but with the additional member transfer and send. And these two members help us to transfer the money from one address to another address. Right, you can send ether by using, so you have to specify that variable as address plus payable if you want to transfer some ether from one address to another address. And along with the transfer and send functions, we have members of addresses. For first one is your balance. If you want to check the address of that member, the address of that entity, then you can use this balance keyword. And how you can use it, so I showed here. So here we have address, my address, right? This is one of the variable name. It's of which type, the address type. And I'm storing the address of the current this is always refers to the current contract address I'm storing here. And here I'm in the if statement, I'm using this my address dot balance to check if it is balance is greater than 10 or not, right? And similarly, we have a transfer function. If you want to send ether from one account to another account, so that address should be the payable first. And when you are transferring, how you can transfer, for example, I want to transfer the money to the X address, and it's just I take here a sample address called how you can specify the address 0x, because this is a hexadecimal number, so it's always start with 0x and 1 2 3 and so on. So here I just took a sample address. And how you can transfer the money, X dot transfer 10 10 and 10 is the when you transfer a money, it is in the units of weight, and it's one of the denomination in the Ethereum platform, and we will learn them in detail later on. So this is all about the data types we have in the Solidity language. For this is the new one, address and address payable, then string, boolean, integer. So, and that's all from my sides. I hope you enjoy this lecture. And in our next class, we will see the example on data type.